Hi everyone, this is Terry from Aussie Diamond Painters, and I thought I'd do a stick with me while I tell you a little bit about myself. I do have a tag here that I'm going to start shortly. As I said, my name's Terry and I live in Sydney, Australia. I've lived in Sydney most of my life, except for about 13 years when I lived in a country town called Tamworth, which is actually the country music capital of Australia. It's supposed to be spring here at the moment, but it's cold. As you can see, I've got long sleeves on. We're here in Australia, we're the opposite season to you, so you're going into fall and we're going into spring, and going into summer after that, I hope. It has been warming up, and then all of a sudden it's got really cold. But anyway, we'll see how we go with this. This is just a small whip. This is for my daughter's boyfriend who wanted a pug diamond painting to put on his wall, and he wanted the smallest one I could get, so this one's just a 20 by 20, so it shouldn't take me too much longer to do, but who knows. Okay, let's get this tag started, just so you can get to know me a little bit better. What is your full name? Well, I'm known as Terry, but my actual full name is Therese. My parents didn't think Terry was a very good girl's name to put on a birth certificate, so Therese it was on the birth certificate, and the only time I ever get called that is when I'm naughty. And even now, every now and then, I still hear Mum calling me Therese because she thinks I'm naughty. My name doesn't mean anything really. As I said, Mum just always wanted a girl by the name of Terry, but didn't think it was a very good girl's name, as I said before, to put on a birth certificate. So, does your name make any interesting anagrams? No, not really. Not that I can think of. If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to? Well, I'm known by Terry, and I'm sick to death of, when you got to think twice. Everything official is Therese. Like even at work, my name's Therese, but everyone just calls me Terry. And when people call out Therese, I don't answer it because I don't know the name. Because as I said, only when I'm naughty do I ever get called it. Where am I from? I was born in Sydney, Australia. I grew up in Sydney. Who did I look up to growing up? My mother's sister, probably the best one there. She was a single parent of 10 children, and in those days there was no single parents pension like you can get now here. You had the children, you had to look after them, so she had 2 or 3 jobs to keep her kids fed and housed, and I think that back then that was a very hard thing to do. What are my best characteristics? I think I'm easy to get along with. I like to think I'm funny at times. I'm a hard worker. I think I'm a great employee. Because I work full time. on computers or computer software mainly. So yeah. What are the favourite things about yourself? Well, a few years ago I would have said something totally different, but I'm 56, so I'm getting old, but I still have great legs and a great rear end, so that they're probably and also I like helping people, and I think that's a great characteristic to have as well. Which parent are you closest to? Well, I'd have to say Dad. I sort of follow in Dad's footsteps a little. He was a dentist, but very much into computers and computer software, and that's where I got my liking for it. Which of your parents are you more like? Well, I'd have to say Mum. Mum and I have had some issues in the past, but that's mainly because we're so alike. Are your grandparents still married? Well, they were still married when they passed away. My grandfather passed first, and this is Mum's side, and then my grandmother passed away a couple of years after that. And also on my father's side, the same. They were both married. They were still married. And my grandfather passed first, and then my grandmother quite a few years after that. What relative was important to you growing up and why? Well, I'd have to say Auntie June again. As I said, Mum and I used to have issues, and Auntie June was always there, even though she was very low on money and that sort of thing. She was always there if I wanted to chat or stay overnight at her place, things like that. So what is the one thing you've never told your parents? I've never actually told my parents, but I think they know. The reason why my marriage broke up was because he was physically abusive. I never actually told them, but I think they picked up on it after a while. What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? I think Shane was the name I was going to be if I was a boy. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it was. What do you call your grandparents? Well, on my mother's side, it was Nana and Drantar. And the reason for Drantar is because my sister couldn't say Grandpa. So, and then just everybody called him Drantar, and we thought it was sweet, so. And Nana and Pop was my father's side. What's your best physical feature? I would say my legs. Everybody says I have great legs. What is my biggest accomplishment? My daughter. She's my world. I couldn't have children. I was on IVF for a lot of years and it didn't work. So we adopted Beck. We got her when she was 6 weeks old, and she's the best thing I think I've ever done. What is your biggest fear? Oh dear, heights. If it's that sort of fear. And never finding somebody to be able to talk to be myself with. I don't really want to get married again, but it'd be nice to have a friend, you know, go out with every now and then, go to family dues and weddings and that sort of thing, and you know, just somebody there you can talk to and have a bit of fun with, and not get too serious with. My biggest regret, I can't say my marriage because Beck came out of it, but it probably is. I think I was married at 20, and I think that was just way too early. I think I wanted to have kids so badly that, yeah, just getting married too early, I think. What is my eye colour? It's green. In some situations they look blue, but the majority of the time they're green. What inspires you? What inspires you? If you can hear noise in the background, that's my my fur baby running around the place. I don't know, life, I suppose. What inspires me to work is probably my father's work ethic. And besides that, you've got to live and eat and have a roof over your head. That's a really hard question, actually. But probably roof and food and have to live. What is the most important thing in my life? Well, I would have to say my daughter, Beck. She's a fantastic friend as well as a daughter. She, well, we used to be able to talk about everything. It's changed a little bit now as she's got a little older. She's 24. As she's got older, it's not as much conversation as there used to be, but we're still very close and we get along very well. Yeah. Who's my favourite actor? Well, I would have to say Richard Gere. Of about 5 or 6 years ago, when he was doing, or maybe longer, when he was doing Pretty Woman and all that sort of thing, I thought he was great. Who's your favourite actress? Who's that woman who used to play Gidget in those old Gidget movies? I just can't remember her name, but I used to love watching those. Who is my favourite celebrity? I don't know. I really don't know. Who is your favourite musician? Well, you wouldn't know the Australian ones. So I'm very much country. So Keith Urban is probably my favourite musician. He's a fantastic guitarist. Who's my favourite person in the world? Well, that'd have to be Beck. What's my favourite colour? My favourite colour's blue, but I love all colour. So I'm a very colourful person. If you see my clothes and that sort of thing, you would realise that. What is my favourite drink? Well, I do love Coke, but being a diabetic, I can no longer drink Coke. So my favourite drink now would be, I found this mandarin drink that's for diabetics. Just can't remember the name of it. And I mix it up with water, and I drink that. I can't stand the taste of water on its own for some reason. I never have been able to. So, I've got the wrong one out. Yeah, so water and I aren't the best of friends. What's happened here? 18. Yeah, that's right. I got the right colour. Going crazy here. What is my favourite fairy tale? Beauty and the Beast. That one's always been one of my favourites. And Cinderella is a very close second. What's your favourite food? I'll probably have to say Mexican. And I know there was a fantastic Mexican restaurant up from the Holiday Inn in Anaheim in Los Angeles. That's a really good one. But we also have some really good ones over here as well. There's one at Rosebery that I used to go to, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I don't like those Taco Bells and that sort of thing. I've actually went to a really nice one in Houston, Texas when I was over there last time. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really nice one. There was also a nice one near Woolies there as well. Not Woolies, Target, I think it was. In the middle of the car park. I just can't remember the name of it. But I went in there on my own and had a great lunch. And I usually travel by myself because I don't have a partner. So when I travel by myself, I eat by myself. A lot of the time I get, I don't know, takeout, I think you call it. We call it takeaway, where you just go and pick it up and take it back to your room and eat it. I can remember the last time I was in Anaheim, I love ribs as well. And there was a rib place just a couple of doors up from the motel I was staying in, so I went up there to get some dinner, and I nearly fell over when I opened it. There was just so much food. I was so pleased there was a fridge and a microwave in the motel room, because I actually got enough for dinner, lunch the next day, and dinner the next day. I'm not a huge eater. My issue is chocolate, so I put on a lot of weight with chocolate. But I'm not a huge meal eater, but I got 3 meals out of one. What's your favourite holiday destination? Well, it's sort of a toss-up between, depending on how I'm feeling. If I really need a rest and regeneration, it's a cruise. And if I'm just going to visit, if I just feel like going on a holiday and having a look around and being a tourist, it's the States. The States and Canada are my 2 favourite places to go to. I'd like to go to Scotland and Ireland at some point. But yeah, I've been to the States probably 6 or 7 times. Different places, from Arizona to up and down the coast with LA and Las Vegas and Tijuana and all of those sort of places. Where else have I been? Red Deer, which is in Alberta, Canada. I just can't think. Total blank. Oregon. I haven't been to New York. I would really like to go over to that side. I haven't been over that side at all. But I'm not sure whether I'd like to go over that side on my own. I could handle LA and that sort of thing. But I don't know whether I could handle New York on my own for some reason. It sort of gives me a bit of a scare. People say I'm silly. I've got friends that live in New York. But still they have to go to work and stuff. So if I even went to stay with them, I'd be travelling to different places on my own. So yeah, I'm a little bit sus about going over that side on my own, and travelling on my own for some reason. What's my favourite ice cream flavour? Well, I'm pretty boring there. I really like French vanilla, and I just like the taste of it, but also anything to do with candles and that sort of thing. I like French vanilla as well. The smell of it, I just like the smell of it. I think it's beautiful. Favourite music genre? I'd probably have to say country. There's some other music I like, but I don't like the, bang bang music or the music that you can't understand when people sing and things like that. That's not me. What's my favourite physical activity? I like bushwalking. I'm a bit of an amateur photographer, so I go bushwalking with my camera and take a lot of photos, and I quite enjoy that. I'll just get some more drills here, if I can get it open. Might help if I try and open the right side. What's my favourite quote? I don't know. I have quite a few quotes that I like, but the only one that's coming to mind is, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. That's the only one that comes to mind. I know I have a few. Eat, sleep and be merry. Or eat, drink and be merry. I can't remember which one it is now. Oh, what's your favourite snack? I'd have to say chocolate. Even though I'm a diabetic, chocolate is the one thing that really gets me off my good girl diet. So whenever I eat it, I try and only eat a square, or if I'm buying it, which is very rarely, I buy the smallest. They call them here furry friends. I don't know whether you got them over there. They're a tiny, tiny milk chocolate. And it's very thin. I think it's about 15 grams of just dairy milk chocolate on its own. I get one of those if I've really got a bad craving. But my daughter and her boyfriend live with me, and they buy so much junk food. And it's laying around the house all the time, and sometimes it's just too much. So I have some of theirs. Like Oreo cookies is one of my favourite biscuits or cookie. And if they're laying around, I find them very difficult to walk past. What's my favourite song? I don't think I really have a favourite song. There's a few songs that bring back a lot of memories for me, which is good, because I don't have much of a memory after a car accident. So bringing back memories is what songs do for me. What's my favourite sport? Well, for me to play, it used to be tennis. I used to play a lot of tennis. And I used to swim a lot, state championships and things like that. But now, I love watching our football. And it's just about over, our grand final. Of course, my team didn't make it, but our grand final for my football is on Sunday, so this coming Sunday. So then you have to wait. We have to wait again until I think it's around March before it starts again. It's just too hot here in summer to play such a contact physical sport, so they play it over the winter. What's my favourite time of the day? Just when the sun's going down, I think. Especially in spring. And I find that a really nice time of the day. I can sit out with a book or just sit outside. I've got a huge veranda here. Sit outside and read a book, or take my little folding table out there and on my veranda and watch the sun go down. It's very nice. I live not far from the water, so we get a bit of a cool breeze in summer most times. So sitting outside on the veranda and catching the breeze and watching the sun go down on a working day or a weekend, I find that quite relaxing and quite nice. Anyway, I think we'll call an end to it now, and we've done about a half an hour. I've done a couple of these before, but I've never been able to get them uploaded onto the net, so I thought I would try one for a half an hour and see how we go. I'll just mark where we're up to question 47 on this. So I'll put this aside and I'll grab it out the next time we have a little chat. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoys themselves with their diamond paintings, and I hope to see you again really soon, or to talk to you again really soon. There is one question I'd like to ask, if anybody can leave a comment or whatever, is there any way of having a two-way conversation via YouTube or Skype or something like that, where a group of people can get on? Because I think that might be better if we can chat between each other live. If it's Skype or something, I've still got my iPad, so I can use that to chat, and people can hear us and you know, throw back and forward some information or questions. And I really like that sort of idea, but I don't know whether you can do it on YouTube or a group in Skype or something like that. If anybody knows, I'd be grateful if you could let me know, and I'll try and set something up. Anyway, we can talk later, and thank you for coming to watch this video. And if you like this video, subscribe and click the bell so that you know when I'm putting up another video. Okay, then we'll talk soon. Bye bye for now.